And welcome back to the final segment of our show this morning. We have been joined on set by Senior Marketing and Information Officer for BELTRAIDE, none other than Tomas Gongora. Good morning. We've also been joined by Monique Usher. She's the Business Advisor for SBDCBelize. Good morning.
And we're talking about Global Entrepreneurship Month and some of the activities that that's being hosted out of BELTRAIDE. So let's just start off by talking about the initiative of joining in on Global Entrepreneurship Month.
Okay, well, to talk about that, I first have to talk a little bit about BELTRAIDE and what we do.
Yeah.
BELTRAIDE stands for Belize Trade and Investment Development Service. We have 4 very specific mandates that we carry out under the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Commerce. And one of those mandates is to develop small businesses, so small business development, which is where SBDCBelize comes in. And as a part of that, we've taken every effort to follow the world standards in terms of activities and so on, to help small businesses understand what it's like to operate, not just locally, but around the world, in hopes that if they ever have the goals of expanding, exporting, becoming multinational or what have you, they'll be well equipped for that. So as a part of that, we partake in Global Entrepreneurship Week, but we have expanded that into what we refer to as National Entrepreneurship Month, with several other activities that we'll touch on as we go along.
Yeah. And how are we doing in terms of the number of people who are interested in becoming entrepreneurs? And I mean, I always find that it's one of those things where it must be difficult to measure success, because there's interest and there's actual successful business.
Well, there's lots of metrics that can show how successful or not successful we've been, but I think what's a great indicator of the way things are going is the fact that many schools are starting to include entrepreneurship as majors in their courses, because that 8 to 5 is not for everybody. As time goes by, we realize that some people are gifted and they just need a little help developing the business side of their skills, and you can make a great living working for yourself. I myself have a couple small businesses on the side, as you guys know, and being a staff member at BELTRAIDE has definitely helped me to develop my own self as a business person, as well as to help continuing the development of other businesses and friends and so on.
So when it comes to Global Entrepreneurship Month or Global Entrepreneurship Week, like Tomas mentioned, 170 countries participate in this week of activities that is geared towards fostering and promoting entrepreneurship. And in country, we are going to be talking about a hackathon. It's an event that we are having for the 4th year. And it's an event that Tomas mentioned, it's great to have the interest from academia, expressing interest to participate and foster entrepreneurship in their curriculum. And so we're having the Hackathon 2018. And Hackathon is an event that looks at presenting a problem statement to students and having them come up with a solution to address real-time problems that are faced in society. So this year's focus of Hackathon is to attract schools to sign up for the event. Last year we had 5 participating tertiary level institutions. And when it comes to Hackathon, it's an initiative that looks at blending different programs or different schools in participating in the event. It's focused on having students within the age range of 16 to 26 participate in the activity. So if we're looking at team composition, we're looking at having 4 members within that team. And like I mentioned, it's a blend. So you're having students who are accounting majors, students who are marketing majors, students who are ITC majors. And it's them coming up with a solution for that problem. Last year we had Corzal Community College taking the 1st place prize of Hackathon. And so this year we have already come up with a problem that we want to be addressed. But of course, when it comes to that problem, we can't reveal what that problem statement is at this point in time. We want to leave that.
Remove the element of surprise.
The main goal, exactly. The main goal is to get the schools interested in signing up and knowing that you have to have that combination, as Monique mentioned, of marketing, IT, and business background as well.
Okay, so 2 things. One, when I hear hackathon, because maybe of my older generation mind, I think of hacking, like computer hacking, like breaking into something illegally, especially. But it's not necessarily that. You're talking about problem solving.
Exactly. So the word hack carries a negative connotation in most
I think
regards.
It's our general,
it's just a mentality, but hacking is basically just solving a problem. That's all it really is. So a lot of times online you will see videos about life hacks, like little secrets and stuff that you don't know. So in this case, it would be just to solve a real problem, and it's actually a business hackathon. So it's something that's that we hope can actually be applied long term, not just for the sake of winning the competition. And that said, I think the winners of the first hackathon that we ever had did have their ideas integrated into, I think, Tropic Air's website, or the way they do something in terms of finding locations to do things in Belize for their tourists and stuff like that on their website.
Oh, wow.
And as we went along, you know, various ideas came up for the other hackathons, and it just blew up to the point where it's taken on a life of its own now.
So I guess you partially answered this question, but how does on-the-spot problem solving link to entrepreneurship? What is the connection that one should make there?
Okay, the main connection is that a part of winning the hackathon is that you get mentorship and assistance from SBDCBelize and BELTRAIDE, and if it's something that you feel is a viable idea and you want to develop that into an actual business, we support you every step of the way, not only with the different trainings and so on that we give, but also we will keep you in tune when seed capital becomes available and stuff like that. Yeah.
Tell us about some of the original ideas that have come out over the years from the hackathon.
If we looked at the first year, like Tomas mentioned, we were focused on tourism-related problem, having tourists coming into the country and wanting to know what to do in country. So that idea was focused on tourism, looking at different highlights in terms of your travel arrangements in Belize. What are some of the activities you can engage in?
Kind of like a local Expedia type thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Last year, the focus was on the utility companies, and so it was coming up with a solution that addressed either a BWS connecting to their clients or a BEL connecting to
like
their
a
clients.
customer service type.
So a customer service type of initiative. And what we've seen is that the interest from the different tertiary level institutions have sparked so much that, you know, at the end, when the announcement is made, okay, the first prize winner is Corzal Junior College, we even have other tertiary level institution expressing interest to participate. We have opened the application process, and when it comes to the deadline, it's the 2nd of October that we're looking for schools who are interested who form a team to apply online. And then based on your application, you are invited to a kickoff meeting, and that kickoff meeting starts the 6th of October. And remember, we mentioned the suspense with the problem statement. On the 6th of October is when we actually present the problem statement to the participating teams.
With all of them present.
So all of them will be presented with the problem. And again, you get the opportunity to go back into your community, identify some of the issues that your potential customers face in that problem. And you do market research and to see, you know, the solution that you come up, how feasible is it to that problem that's being addressed, and how practical is it to actually solve that problem that people face. And
how does an initiative such as this, incentivize young people, particularly in the area of business and entrepreneurship?
Well, I think one of the things that comes out of this is that we show young people that they have the power to really make a change in society and the way business operates, because, you know, as time goes by, you know, we're a little bit older, so we lose touch with some technology sometimes and stuff like that, but we do this specifically for the kids who are really in tune with technology, who really want to make a living out of technology, which is really the way the world is evolving now. And so as you can see from some of the past hackathons that we've done, it's real world problems that we're solving specifically in our community. One of the 2 hackathons ago was focused on an e-commerce platform, because in Belize currently, before the Apps Tree was introduced by Central Bank, we didn't really have a way for entrepreneurs to buy and sell things.
Do business online.
Aside from Facebook, right, obviously. But something that was secure, something that was backed by the banks and so on. And I'm guessing that's something that's still in the works, where we're concerned. There's a lot of, I guess, legal stuff that we have to deal with where that's concerned. But that was, to me, an awesome idea for the hackathon. And as time goes by, we just identify issues based on our customers' needs, and we try to see how we can solve them through initiatives like this. It does carry prizes as well, so that's obviously a nice little motivation. First place is $3,500, second place $2,000, and third place $1,500. Plus the technical assistance and mentorship from SBDCBelize for all of the 3 prizes.
And I'd just like to make mention that when it comes to the assistance provided after the announcement has been made, it's not only looking at that business component, it's looking at connecting them with key players in that area, persons who have expertise. And so it's a continuous basis in terms of the support that the different teams receive as a part of the participation. Just like to highlight some additional dates, and of course we want to invite you to visit our website, belizeentrecon.com/business hackathon, and information in regards to the competition is there. Like I mentioned, the kickoff meeting is the 6th of October, and November 9th is the first pitch. So you'll notice that during that time period, you have time to go back, do your research,
come up with your idea.
and come up with your idea, and of course provide us with photos to showcase that process of idea to from problem identification to coming up with an idea to address that solution. And November 9th will be the selection of 3 teams. So it's 3 teams that advance to the final round, which in the final pitch is on November 23rd. And the announcement of winner actually takes place at our signature event, which is Entrecon. And on the 30th of November, we announce the winning teams, and we also share with them the prizes and make the connection with other persons that can assist them with taking that idea to commercialization. So that's the general idea behind Hackathon. It's identifying a problem that's faced in society, coming up with a solution, and of course looking at commercializing it and having it be a business.
Now, this is essentially, I think especially, there's some people who are master idea generators. They can just come up with solutions on the spot, and it's amazing. I mean, it's a quality I wish I could teach it in school. So this is what this text, innovation and creativity, and seeing beyond the box itself. But how important is the process that they take in moving towards what they finally decide to pitch? Because you spoke of market research and really understanding the problem. Is it a measure of just how innovative the idea is, or how much research and groundwork went into that final pitch?
It's definitely a combination of all of that. We do have some points that we judge on that do include not only the accuracy of your information given, but the innovation, doing something no one else has done. If you can come up with something like that, is definitely going to be like major points for you. Not just mimicking an existing idea, So, because we've had times where the ideas that they came up with were like just amazing. I think somewhere along the way in the one that I mentioned earlier, someone was suggesting using phone credit as a digital currency. And so they were going to try and integrate that with BTL and see how you can like pay somebody with your phone credit. And it was really innovative, and so we have several ideas like that along the way. And innovation is very important. That's actually one of the main things that we focus on, because the actual theme of the Entrecon this year is today's drivers of competitiveness, innovation, and knowledge transfer.
It's in Belize especially, I find that the concept of innovation is one that's really hard to sell, because so many people are it's a generational thing, You have the idea generators, you have the innovative people, and then you have the practical people who are like, oh, that's not gonna work. And this is what millennials struggle with in the workplace. It's like, we can do this, and everybody says, no, we've tried that, that won't work. Or that's never been done before, we can't do it. So how do you bridge that divide? So you have your not even millennials, the new generation coming out, creating these solutions, the ideas. How do you use that as an education tool for your mentors involved, for your wider representatives that are associated with BELTRAIDE?
Well, I think that to me, the main thing is the mentors and the teachers and so on, that they have to be of that mindset too, that we no longer operate the old school way, especially where education is involved. I've seen a big move towards e-education, mailing in your assignments and staying in touch with your teacher through WhatsApp groups and stuff like that. And the teachers have to be abreast of that and stuff too. And over the last 3 EntreCons that I've been involved in since being at BELTRAIDE, I've seen where some of the teachers take such interest in it that, you know, they dedicate so many extra hours outside of their school time and stuff like that, so much energy into it, and the kids, they come in so motivated and so on. And one of the examples that I always use to help motivate people as well is that you really do have to think outside the box and sit down and jot down the craziest ideas you can think of and see how you can make it a reality. If you take, for example, the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell, you had to be really thinking outside the box to think to yourself, I want to talk to somebody who's not even here to come up with an idea like that.
Any of the greatest inventions started off with a person that they thought was crazy.
Exactly. And then, you know, we have this mindset that all the great, you know, electronic ideas come from the Far East and India and so on like that. And we have to remember people like Zuckerberg, who was just in his dorm room, who came up with Facebook, or the guys who came up with Google, or the guys who came up with Apple and so on, and look at how much those are worth these days. I think Apple just crossed $1 trillion in value. So you'll be surprised how your crazy ideas can make you, you know, quite rich.
So innovation is the key in the hackathon. You had spoken of groups coming up from tertiary level. Are schools allowed to put forward more than one team?
Yes.
Or it's one team?
Yes, and we have had instances of that before. We've structured it in such a way that you can actually have participation from 2 students on your team, and you can actually have somebody who's actually in the business world participating in your team as ready. So last year, I think our 2nd place team, SBDCBelize from Cayo, they had students from Galen, but was also sponsored by a tech company in Cayo called SBDCBelize. And they, you know, had quite a dynamic team, and they ended up winning 2nd place in the competition.
Yes, and just to add to that team, the process that we put them through actually helped them develop an idea that's an actual business now in Cayo. If you're in the tourism industry, you might have seen on your Facebook page Belize. And some of the participants from Hackathon are actually working for this company now. So it shows that, you know, the idea transcends from just, okay, it's an idea, looking at the process that you go through and assisting you with developing and fine-tuning that idea. So when it comes to the different evaluation criteria that we're looking at, of course, innovation is a huge driver. We're looking at impact, we're looking at technical application, because we want to see how tech savvy you are, what applications you're using, what new ICT tools or what new inventions or trends you're integrating into your business. We're also looking at, of course, the presentation and, of course, the delivery of that idea, because at the end of the day, you're put in front of a panel, you pitch your idea,
to make that pitch,
and you have to connect with that panel and present it in such a way that it's something that's practical, something that can work. And of course, we're there to provide that business support to the teams that participate for Hackathon.
Have you seen schools starting their own mini hackathons to kind of progress towards the major hackathon?
Interestingly enough, in the month of November, we also have something referred to as National Entrepreneurship Roadshow. And so we visit different secondary and tertiary level high institutions. And we have what we refer to as an entrepreneurship lab that takes place at these schools. And it's looking at having students come up with ideas, looking into their community, what are some problems that they face in their community, and coming up with some solutions to those problems, presenting ideas. So it's looking at shifting that mentality and culture when it comes to entrepreneurship. And that's a huge pillar. And I think as a country, we are progressing in the right direction, because entrepreneurship is now a topic that's discussed heavily, and it's a topic that's very open in terms of discussion. Schools want to talk about entrepreneurship. Business community is interested in sharing their knowledge as it relates to doing business in Belize. And so we're very excited to participate and have these initiatives that foster during this month. And of course, for us at the center, this is something that we carry out throughout the year, but of course we want to make it exciting and interesting. So the month of November is set aside for entrepreneurship by BELTRAIDE.
All right. And
I
so,
think,
go ahead.
sorry, I was going to say, one of the things that I find most interesting is the pitch. Most techies are pretty introverted, and they're in front of people, which is why they work behind computers most of the time. And you know, we've had instances where you had to see people really dig down deep to try and convince the panel of judges, which incidentally is mostly comprised of members of companies and organizations within the sector that the hackathon is focused on. So you're professionals and people who have made a career out of what it is that they're trying to pitch. And they have to really convince them. And it's really interesting to see how that plays out and how excited they are after they pull it off.
All right.
They don't only come with ideas, some of them come with prototypes, and
Yeah.
so it's interesting to see
I was
that
gonna ask
presentation of,
Yeah.
you know, this is my idea, but it's something that I've worked on, and it's providing them with feedback in real time, and of course, taken into consideration for the final pitch.
They also leave with ideas too.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely do. And then you know,
You have to
I'm-
include the copyright portion. I mean, patent their idea and copyright it
well,
from the beginning.
I think a part of what we do is how to protect themselves.
Yeah.
In terms of their
Intellectual
ideas,
property.
yeah.
Property.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. So the deadline for application is when?
October 2nd.
October, I think it's October 2nd. It may have been Friday.
Yeah.
It may be this Friday.
No, it's October 2nd.
Oh, okay, October 2nd.
So you do
sorry,
it
sorry.
online?
Yeah,
Online,
online.
yeah.
So you go
Where
to
do we go?
you go to BelizeEntrecon.com/business hackathon, or you can just go to BelizeEntrecon.com and there's a button there that takes you. And when you scroll down, there will be 3 tabs there, and one of them is the sign up to compete.
Okay.
One tab tells you all the information you need to know, which is what's on the screen right now. The second tab tells you what the prizes are, and the third tab is the actual sign up.
Sign up.
All
So
right.
all the information you need to know is there, and then that's also where we're going to be keeping people updated on other ongoings of the actual Entrecon, which is on November 30th. It's always a huge event. We have built more jam-packed every year for the last couple of years. I think 200 to 225 people participating,
Yeah.
and it's really our, as Monique mentioned, our signature event.
All right. And that's where we see the winner. That's where we find out.
That's
the
where we
winner
find out the winner,
of the
yeah.
hackathon.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So we do hope the schools are listening. I'm sure that those who've participated before. The age range is 16 to 26. As you said, it can be mixed with schools and businesses as well. And very interested to find out what the problem will be and the potential solutions.
One important thing I forgot to mention: one teammate must be
Yeah,
female.
Female.
Yes,
Okay.
that's very important to note. We want to encourage female entrepreneurship in
Right.
ICT
Can it be
as
all
well.
female?
That's interesting. I think yes. I wouldn't object to that. I would definitely not object to that. That would be interesting to see.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing the details.
Thanks
Once
for having
again, you
us.
just have to go to the website, BELTRAIDE's website,
Entrecon
BelizeEntrecon.com.
website.
Entrecon's
Yeah.
website, and click on the link to sign up. The deadline is October 2nd, which means that you have some time to get your group together and submit your application. Thank you for coming in.
All right. Thank you very much.
We're going to go ahead and take our final break, and when we come back, we'll have a wrap up. So stay